Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to episode 6 of the Extreme Desert playthrough. So last episode I was working on the beautiful dining room slash everything else room that I'm going to need, and what I'm going to do this episode is work on it some more. Okay, so dumping stockpile I'm going to slightly move because I don't need to be storing my stuff so far away from the base. And I'm going to work on the dining room before I bother with the bedroom, because I can always co-opt it into a bedroom for now. So last episode, as you all might have seen, I had a little bit of a food problem. Yes, I am very willing to admit that the choices I made, i.e. Deciding to use an electric stove instead of a slightly smarter alternative of nutrient paste meal, might have cost me, let's call it some street cred. But I'm okay with that. Alright, so what I'm going to work on here is... Actually, I'll put it here. I'm just sort of planning out in my head as I go along. Okay, we have a major break risk because I had a work restriction instead of a sleep restriction. Let's go fix that. Eat and sleep. Alright. I'm not sure if a marble auto door will be pretty or not. I guess we'll see. There is, of course, the need for a lot more components. My current base is very component hungry. I'm constantly adding and requiring more and more components. So with that in mind, let's go and component hunt. There was a nice big chunk of them here. It's 6 in the morning, so before it gets too hot, we'll crank some of this out. There we go. And this will allow us to at least finish a lot of these auto doors. I guess what I'll do is, before I create this auto door, let's see. Yes, so marble auto doors are beautiful. It's good to know. The reason to use marble over other blocks, marble's not a particularly good block, but it is a pretty block, which is why I am using it for projects. So instead of resting, let's go ahead and take some wake up and try to get this dining room done. It's going to be a lot of work. Alright, so we do need some steel. Fortunately, I do know where some steel is. So this door will be a quick exit door, an airlock. And we are currently sleeping, but that won't last very long, as we're pretty well rested. So we are setting up the dining room now. And rebuilding a spike trap. That's good. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is marble tile this place up and install a light. Make it look nice. How about we put the light in first? That might be a little bit more efficient. And we're going to need more chunks, so I can work on that as well. So the more I work on this base, the more I feel like, boy, it would be nice to have an additional pawn. Hopefully the game graces me with such a pawn soon. I know I've been a little bit picky, but given that the last few pawns literally did not do dumb labor, that's kind of not that useful to me. I need them to be able to haul and clean and stuff. So no dumb labor is kind of a non-starter for me. So we're almost done laying out the tile for this room. And then once it's done, it's going to be somewhat beautiful. Of course, it is going to get sandy pretty quickly. We need to start tiling up other areas as well because the sand... yeah, well, basically the sand will get everywhere. No, it's midday, so I'm trying to stay inside as much as I can. Granted, it's still 100 in this room, but it's better than... Oh, rest. Do I really need a rest? I really don't. So you can see I've sort of been ignoring my whole growing in lieu of working on other things. So let's go ahead and work on growth for a moment. Make sure we're tending the farm. And I switched over our rice to psychoid leaves because we just really have enough rice for now. Especially given that we have one pawn. One pawn that I'm waking up in the middle of the night for some quick munchies and hopefully for more sewing. Perfect. These mechanites that I'm suffering really have not allowed me to be all that productive, which I'm kind of bummed about. I do run around faster, and I'm, you know, whatever. Yeah, I think the problem is, yes, like there is an advantage to having these Mega Knights because I move around and manipulate faster, but boy, do I ever sleep a lot. Way more than I wish to. Okay, so we're removing some floor. We're going to get some slate out of that. Clearly, the bugs were not back there. I think they were closer to the base, personally. And some cargo pods. Maybe it's useful? Smoke leaf. Okay, well, it's not useful. It's just not exactly what I was looking for. Obviously, this is going to be the double outside retaining walls that I'll eventually have. So all that beautiful sand getting trapped in that dining room there. Kind of unfortunate, but you know, can't be avoided until I have more of the base constructed. Right now it's obviously not that well constructed. Just sort of the start. All right, so let's get this last of this tile here. And I'm gonna put a tile here and here as well. And then we'll additionally put some here. Okay. Now if I clean here, if I look at this zone here, it is slightly beautiful. If I check the value, it's slightly impressive. As a result, I am going to make it a bedroom dining room combo. And a little bit of research as well. It's going to get really dirty really fast, however. But it will act as somewhat of a doormat for our kitchen once our kitchen is sterilized tile. As you can see, the Mechanites, I should probably try for a slightly more comfortable bed, a higher quality bed. Just because of how often I am sleeping. So I'm setting up the simple meals to pause and unpause manually. I'll make up to 10. And then I'll pause and unpause when I'm down at 4. Now that we have a proper freezer, I'm not that worried about temperature as much as I was before. Alright, I think I should work on some Psychite tea to avoid the whole severe pain that I'm in all the time. So I'll build this here, and then it's tea time. This is a bad temperature in here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually force this door open and maybe get it to cool down a little bit. Yep, that worked. The freezer is obviously teeter-tottering on freezing, but the bedroom here, or office, whatever you want to call it, is a better temperature. And more beautiful, too. Alright, so tribes people that are going to prepare a while, hopefully you're good. Careful shooter, gay, kind, I like you. Careful shooter, but you're really good at melee. Kind of a dangerous pawn to get in a fist fight with, I might add. Especially given that I have fibrous mechanites, I'm already in intense pain, so I'm way more likely to get knocked unconscious from the pain. If they hit me, I might need the traps to weaken them and run the risk of them getting killed. It's kind of a tricky situation I'm in because of these mechanites. I'm already... they might just heat stroke out, which would be the best possible scenario. I'm going to take some wake up. Try to get some research done. Alright. You're not going to heat stroke. Sweet. That's pretty much what I wanted to have happen. Let's go ahead and create a little sleeping spot for them. Now, the real issue is I'm going to be hitting on her like crazy, likely, because she's the only thing around, and she's not going to be all that interested in me. Prisoner, try to recruit. It will be slightly difficult to try to recruit her. Plus, I suspect a lot of jailbreaks, given that some clubs are right next door. That deadfall trap really did a number. Like, insanely so. Kind of impressive. Alright, looking at their gear, they're naked. So what I'm going to do is stockpile clothing here. Try to get them clothed. And we'll go ahead and prefer it. And we'll set this up for apparel. And then we can haul some clothing into her that she can wear once she's on her feet. Okay, so the freezer is still frozen and the office is a good temperature, so this is the best of both worlds. Sympathy, fighting bees, changing teams, compassion, judgment. Well, we're trying. The next thing I'm probably going to want to do is replace that deadfall trap. She's a really good brawler, which I'm happy about. I kind of want to do a melee only. Oh, she's also going to be good doctor eventually. Kind of a nice pawn here, to be honest. Very, very nice traits. Kind is great. Alright, so we have Psychoid Brewing. Next up, let me be very choosy about this. Sterile materials would be very nice for the kitchen to try to avoid some accidental food poisoning. And then I need to queue up make Psychite tea, and we'll just do forever. And we will, when we do it, we'll drop on the floor. And then drug policies. All right, let's go ahead and delete social drug. Okay, select no drugs, and then delete social unrestricted 1 drink per day. We are going to schedule Psychite tea every 2 days, take 1 in inventory, and call this tea time. And if we look, the pain has decreased a little bit, not by much, but a little bit. Of course, we have intense pain, which sucks, but, you know, what can you do? All right, let's get that trap built. That's my next top worry, and then also make sure we're wardening over anything else. There's a lot of steel in that node there, which is good. Doing my little wardening duties. She's still not even able to stand up, which is pretty brutal. And let's close the door. That's supposed to be closed. I guess while we're out here, yeah, I might as well haul some slate black back. Slate is black, but slate back to the base. It doesn't take much to defend early on. Just a few deadfalls. Yes, eventually enemies will be dropping on my head, and I'll have to account for that a little bit differently, but for now, it's not that much of a problem. She still has some pretty terrible injuries. I think a nice thing to do for her would be to put her in a proper bed. So let's go ahead and make a few of those. Hopefully I can have a better bed for myself. Okay, good bed. Let's try one more time. Another good bed. Okay, I'm already in a good bed, so I really want an excellent bed. And I'm willing to waste some steel to attempt to get one. We have a shortage of components, but not steel. Okay, normal. All right, I am a little bit giving up now. You win, game. We're going to need sleep soon, so I'm just going to do a little bit more mining while it's nice and cool. So the reward, a royal bed that's good and Molotov cocktails. There's one enemy, and it is really, how far away is that? Obviously I can't leave with a prisoner here, but yeah, that's pretty far away too. Not going to be all that high up on my list of things to do. There's a lot of injuries that she sustained in attempting to attack the base. I'm actually surprised that she's alive at all. Standing right there to rescue her probably helped a bit. So we're currently reducing her resistance in a good way. Trying to get her to come to the dark side. I'm not that bad, right? Now let's go ahead and shrink the zone here. Copy the settings here. Create a stockpile here. This will help cut down. Paste the settings. Kill this zone. Extend this zone. And rename this to meals. Yep, there, and that will be a little bit faster to cook. To eat, of course, we'll have to have a little bit more travel, but I guess that's fine. Prisoner, can we, let's see. I'm going to try to administer Psych IT. Help them out with their pain, and their mood will improve a little bit. Which will help with the reduction of resistance. Now my social skills aren't particularly all that great, and hers is even worse, so it's not like I'm getting a good warden out of this deal, but sometimes you recruit people not for what they can do for you, but just for the companionship. And most of you know I usually handpick my pawns. So the storyteller by default wants you to have 4. And they kind of treat you with kid gloves until you have 4. But I'm totally okay with cherry picking. Now, of course, if you want me to deal with really terrible pawns, once the You Pick, You Play series starts, you can, you know, sort of force me to do it. That'd be one way to do it. Is vote for me to have, like, junkies and addicts and wimps and whatever else you can cook up and imagine. So what am I, sterile materials? Yeah, that seems about right. I don't have a heck of a lot of silver, but I can mine some more. What I will want to do is to figure out where I will want to place my, once I research the microelectronics, my comms console. Actually, that might not be a bad idea for next. So she can now walk around. I'm going to administer some more Psychite tea. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to haul the joints here. I obviously don't want to smoke it because I already have a lowered consciousness. Oops. But I could administer it to her and it will help out with her mood as long as I don't cause her to be an addict. Administer smoke leaf joint, and let's operate and feed and chat. So she's high on Psychite tea. Let's operate again and chat with her. So if we look at her mood is obviously increasing. The 25 boost that we have from all the little things that we just did for her is going to make it easier to reduce her resistance. Make it easier to recruit her in the long run, hopefully. At least that's the plan. And for now, I'm going to suspend the Psychite tea. I don't want to keep having to crank some out. I might turn it into other things. We have 32 tea, and that's probably pretty good for now. Looks like I'm slated to become somewhat of a drug lord. Alright, so the resistance goes down in proportion to the amount of how well we treat her, basically. And we've been treating her pretty well. The unsightly environment I can't do much about. I can start tiling it up, but it's a farm, so I don't really care. So what I think I'm going to do is I can drop some paved tile in here. That is not super expensive to do. It's better than concrete, and it's pretty fast to make. It will allow us to move around the farm a little bit faster. And we have no shortage of steel, so I might as well go ahead and do that, if that helps her out. Does mean that I need to, pretty in trigger, okay, nice. Another meleeer, potentially. Let's go ahead and get him back to the base pronto. And we get to name our faction in now. So what should it be called? Desert Dwellers, and the local settlement will be called Abadosia. Nice, I like it. Alright, so luckily the new pawn we brought in, a good doctor, a good cook, good at melee, and who's chasing him? A psychically dull jogger that doesn't care or clean. If he survives the deadfall trap, maybe I bring him on, but I'm not going to go out of my way because he's not much of a fighter. Crunch. All right, Frenchie. Let's see. You are... Do I want Frenchie? He's a good researcher. Is anyone else a good researcher? Definitely not. Not really. I'm better. Yeah, I'm going to let him bleed out. Not going to worry about him. Alright, Daimon, or whatever your name is, let's get you a steel bed. Change your restrictions to mimic mine. We're obviously going to need more space, but that's a problem for tomorrow because, well, to put it bluntly, I'm out of time. If you've enjoyed this episode, let me know. If you have any suggestions for me, I'm all ears. If you are curious about anything that I said or did or why, drop me a line. And just a reminder out to the Patreons, today, if you're watching this on November 28th, will be the day I'm looking for suggestions for the You Pick You Play. So drop some suggestions to me there on Discord. All right, well, thank you all for watching, and I hope you tune in next time. Adios.